Hello and welcome. You know, we often look at AI build tools like they're some kind of magic wand, right? But the reality is actually incredibly simple. They generate exactly what they receive. Period. If you feed these tools a highly precise, structured description of your product, well, they'll give you a highly precise, structured application. But if you just toss them a rough idea, you're going to get a rough, messy approximation right back. So this means we really need a fundamental shift in how we approach building digital tools. A lot of us kind of treat writing the product brief like it's a chore, right? Just some paperwork to shove out of the way before the quote-unquote real work starts. But honestly, scratch that. The brief is the actual product work. It's that core product thinking that takes a vague concept and turns it into a fully functional application. Getting an AI to execute your vision requires a unique blend of that product thinking and crystal clear direction. And to translate all that brilliant product thinking into something an AI can actually understand, we use what's called a master build prompt. Think of it like a director's script for a movie. It's not just a quick outline, it's a continuous, structured narrative. It ties together the user, the boundaries of your scope, and the AI features into one cohesive picture. And writing the script, it always starts by vividly defining your specific user, rather than just defaulting to broad, generic categories. Let's look at how that specificity totally changes the game. Imagine you're building for a vague group, like marketing pros. If you tell an AI to build for them, you're going to end up with a totally generic tool with zero point of view. But contrast that with something hyper-specific, a head of marketing manually running campaigns. See the difference? That paints a whole picture of their daily friction. It literally lets the build tool perfectly calibrate the interface and the interaction design to that one person's actual reality. Okay, so once you know exactly who you're building for, you absolutely have to define your scope boundary. Honestly, this might be the most valuable discipline in the entire process. A scope boundary is an explicit, hard-line decision detailing what the product will absolutely not do. Because here's the thing, AI tools are incredibly eager to please. They're like over-caffeinated interns. If you don't draw strict limits, the AI is going to overcomplicate the build, throwing in features that might seem relevant but really just clutter up the whole interface. Now, with those strong boundaries in place, we can start weaving the AI capabilities into our narrative. Every single AI feature needs a clearly defined continuous sequence. First up is the trigger, that exact user action that wakes the AI up. Then the AI needs an input, which is the specific data it grabs from the interface. That feeds right into the system prompt, which is basically where your underlying logic lives. And ultimately, this all creates a visual output, determining exactly how and where the result pops up for the user. Connecting these pieces explicitly means the AI literally never has to guess how your app should function. Before we move forward, there's another absolutely crucial decision you've got to make, and it's all about memory. You need to figure out if your product requires data persistence, meaning does it need to remember user info and build value over time? The alternative is a completely stateless application. It's kind of like a goldfish. Every single session starts totally fresh. If you aren't explicit about this choice, the AI is just going to guess, and trust me, that usually results in some massive, complex database infrastructure that you never even wanted and will eventually just have to rip out. Wrapping your head around these foundational pieces completely changes how you build. It introduces what we call the iteration mindset. See, your brief is really just the starting line, and that first output from the AI, it's almost always going to need some refinement. But because you've crafted this highly precise brief, iteration becomes an exact, manageable science. You're no longer stuck in this frustrating, confusing negotiation with an AI over some vague concept. Instead, you can pinpoint exactly what's wrong and dictate exactly what needs to change. And when you do make those changes, there is one golden rule you have to follow. Ask for a single, specific change at a time. Seriously, just one. Name what's wrong, describe exactly what should happen instead, and explicitly tell the builder not to touch anything else. This level of strict discipline stops the AI from trying to be overly helpful, which ensures it doesn't accidentally break your perfectly working features while it's off trying to fix something entirely unrelated. Ultimately, taking the time to properly structure your thinking completely transforms how you work with AI. It pulls you away from that old habit of just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best, and puts you firmly in the director's seat. So, to wrap things up, I want to leave you with a quick reflection question to test your own product specs. If you read your brief aloud to a colleague right now, would they know exactly what to build? Think about it. Because if the answer is no, well, your AI isn't going to know either.